This is Build Without Chaos. I'm Colleen Goepfert. One clear idea every episode for operators, founders, and marketers who build with intent. Hi, it's Colleen. And this episode wasn't planned. I actually had another topic mapped out, but the last few weeks have felt a bit heavy. I don't love putting pain on a pedestal, and I'm certainly not here for viral outreach, but there's been a specific kind of fatigue I've been feeling, and hearing from a lot of you in our conversations, that's asking to be named. So that's what today is. It's not a think piece, it's not a breakdown, it's just me sitting with what's been showing up, and maybe you've been sitting with it too. I've been watching the news lately, and even though none of it is exactly new, something about the pattern still hits. It's like we've all gotten used to surreal. Floods kill kids at summer camp. It disappears from the headlines in 2 days. Epstein dies under suspicious circumstances, and most people shrug, like, of course. Diddy's abuse finally surfaces after decades, and nothing about the industry or culture actually shifts. These aren't just individual stories. They're symptoms of something deeper, something rotten. And whether we engage or not, we're breathing that air. What I keep coming back to is this. These events aren't random. They're a pattern. They reveal what happens when unchecked power is protected, when silence is rewarded, when image is prioritized over truth. It's the slow normalization of rot. And when that becomes the water we're all swimming in, it doesn't just stay out there, it creeps inwards into how we lead, how we work, how we talk to each other, how we treat ourselves. And if you're someone who builds or holds space for others, like me, I'm an empath, you feel it, even if you can't name it yet. You don't need to be directly involved in any of these stories to feel the weight of them. It's ambient, it's everywhere. People are more dysregulated than they realize. I see it in marketing teams, in exec rooms, even in friend groups. Everything feels louder, faster, a little more unhinged. Prescription pills are on the rise, antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds. That's not a critique, that's a clue. People are trying to stay functional in a system that's anything but. And then we internalize it, like we're the problem. Like something's wrong with us for feeling scattered or off. But maybe it's the world that's misaligned. For me, there was a quiet moment a few months back where I realized I wasn't willing to move through the world dysregulated anymore. Not just for my nervous system, but for the integrity of the things I want to build. Because you can't build long-term clarity from short-term chaos. And I'm not interested in showing up to my work or my life from a place of reactivity. I don't want to lead with chaos in my body. I don't want to numb out just to stay productive. That's what build without chaos means to me right now. It's not soft. It's not aesthetic. It's not balance for the sake of optics. It's strategic refusal. Refusal to replicate what broke us. This episode isn't about headlines. It's about what happens when you stay human while they're happening. I don't have a list of steps, but I do know this. You don't have to match the fire. You don't have to shout louder. You don't have to spiral. You don't have to ignore it either. You can hold a mirror to it and still choose to stay whole. We can't change every system overnight, but we can take accountability for how we show up inside of them. And if there's one thing I've learned recording these episodes, it's this. Every guest who sits with me has made that choice to take responsibility, to lead differently, to stop replicating what broke them. It's not about walking away from ambition. It's about walking towards it with more clarity, more discernment, and more depth. And next episode, we'll hear from someone who's made a different kind of shift. They didn't walk away. They stayed in the game, developing product roadmaps, investing, building, but with a different internal compass. They didn't need a collapse to make the shift. They made it with clarity. We'll talk about how ambition evolves when it's no longer fueled by urgency or ego, and what it looks like to lead from discernment, even when the industry still rewards speed. I hope you'll join me. See you next episode. Thanks for listening to this episode of Build Without Chaos. If today's episode resonated, subscribe and share it with someone else who's building without chaos.